Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jabel Kugonza. Yet again, we are honored to have our guest, Alexandra. Last time we talked about the EU and Africa. Today we are going to be talking about yet another exciting issue on the global south. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share the videos. We are the diplomat. Well, let us delve into it. So, Alexandria, I want to talk about the global south. Now, in Uganda, my understanding of the global south is the global south is essentially all these countries, which are characterized with they are indebted, they are poor, they don't have functioning institutions, their GDPs are very low. These countries have very many problems. They are not developed, but they're in the process of developing. They have those colonial legacies. So, but today you have a very interesting perspective with regards to what the global south is. So, we would like to know from your own perspective, what is the global south?
Okay, so in Germany we have a bit of a different understanding of the global south. It's not something you can put one country into the category. It's more like several people who can be part of the global south or part of the global north. So global, alone the word global means those people can be everywhere in the world. They can be in Finland, in Sweden. It doesn't have to be the south of the equator. So it's usually people who are either affected by colonialism or globalization, which means due to globalization and a lot of technology which is happening right now, the people who have disadvantages from it, those are usually part of the global south. It can be someone in Uganda, it can also be someone in Germany who just doesn't have access to those things.
Okay, that is a very interesting perspective. Now, let us try to localize it here into the Ugandan perspective. So if we are talking about Uganda, so do you try to mean that in Uganda we have both people who are living in the global north and others who are living in the global south? Okay,
Yes.
let us in on that.
Yes, so the global south is a concept. You can't just name a person and say these people are part of the global south or part of the global north, but you can say that people here only, like in Kampala, live in two different worlds. There's places that poor people in Kampala can't even see because there's like a high entrance fee, or you can only get into if you're part of a certain kind of people who live here. So you can't say a person who is very wealthy in Uganda is necessarily part of the global north, but you can say they will have benefits from birth, which means you can explain their lives better when you look at them as part of the global north.
Wow, that is very interesting. Okay, now, so how does this concept of the global south or the global north help us understand the globe, especially with now the current globalization, the massive changes happening now? How does it help us better understand the world?
Okay, so if you only use words, if you only use terms like colonized or underdeveloped or developed, you will never include everyone because of course the globalization. There's so many different people in just one place right now, and if you use a concept like the global south, you can much better describe those people. It's not happening that much in Uganda, but in Europe, for example, there's a lot of people from different countries living just in one country. Like in Germany, we have a lot of people from Turkey, from Russia, also from a lot of African countries. And if you just say, okay, they live in Germany, they are part of the global north, it's different. Or if you say they live in a developed country like Germany, it's harder to explain it than if you say, okay, in Germany we have people that are part of the global south. So it's much easier to describe current conflicts, for example, that are happening right now.
Wow, very interesting insights from Alexandra Avoyrish with regards to what she understands by the term global south. Now, this is quite different from what we know here in Uganda, or basically most of the literature that I've read, actually all of the literature that I've read, is quite different from what you're giving. But that is the importance actually of having this sort of engagement. So I think now this is, a call to the academia, especially in Uganda here. I'm very sure some professors will be watching this So what comes into their minds when they hear such perspectives from Alexandria? But anyway, thank you so much as always. Looking forward. We learn a lot actually from your insights. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this, and you can actually also give in your comments or your replies, what you think about the Global South. Yeah, and be sure to catch us next time. Thank you so much for joining us. We are the Diploma. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. My name is Jabel Kugonza. See you next week. Bye-bye.